And what you are is for the common good. It is to cultivate your personal gifts, your talents, your skill in such a way that it grows you, it changes you along the way. And as you grow and as you change along the way, you're going to be discovering the God of your being every step of the way. Proverbs says, where there is no vision, the people perish. We need a vision so that God can move in and through and as us. The next slide. Agnes always felt a connection with the God of her being. At a very young age, she went into a convent. But for almost the first 20 years of her life, the other nuns said she could not even light the candles properly. She was just kind of a, what would you call a nun that couldn't light the candles properly? I don't know. That was Agnes. Well, she was sort of sickly and took a train one weekend and was traveling to a retreat where she could rest and recuperate. And on that train, she had a quickening of her spirit. Something inside of her opened up, and for a moment in time, she caught a glimpse of her purpose, that her purpose was compassion, to love. You know this woman as Mother Teresa. She went on after that very day to found the Missionaries of Charity. She went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize, to become the face of compassion, but more importantly, to model a person that takes their vision and uses it to overcome their fears. From that little unheard of nun who couldn't even light the candles to, I will never forget that picture of her standing with Princess Diana. She has become and was and still lives as the face of compassion for our world. Mother Teresa said, we know only too well that what we are doing may seem nothing more than a drop in the ocean. But if the drop were not there, the ocean would be missing something. You must reach high, for stars lie hidden in your soul. Dream deep, for every dream precedes the goal. Beautiful words from Mother Teresa. You're never too young, you're never too old, you're never too low to reach, to discover the stars, the potential that is inside of you. Are you willing to have a vision that can change your life? Cerny, would you give me that song and then the last slide, Jim, or the last set of slides? When I lived in Lawrence, Kansas, I learned about this woman. Does anyone know Elizabeth Layton or know about her? Trenda, you're going to find this fascinating. She spent about 40 years of her life depressed. She went through shock therapy. She had been in and out of hospitals. Lots of traumatic things happened in her early childhood and in her adult life. She lost a child. And for the life of her, it's as if she couldn't get up out of herself, that she was stuck. She heard the philosopher Nietzsche, a quote that said, all of us are potentially hero or genius. Only inertia keeps us mediocre. And in that state of inertia, she had tried all sorts of things. Somebody prompted her to take an art class. And so she did. Would you show me the next slide, Jim? What distinguishes Elizabeth Layton's drawings from others is their breadth, their freshness, their expression of hope. Few artists have depicted such far-reaching social concerns as capital punishment, homelessness, hunger, racial prejudice, AIDS, aging, and the right to die. Each of her drawings challenge us to walk in the shoes of the less fortunate. Each drawing urges us to work not just for a kinder or gentler nation, but for a kinder and more gentle self. The most amazing part of it is that Layton was largely untrained great-grandmother living in a small town. She took one contour drawing art course at the age of 68. She took it as a goal to lift her spirits. Eventually, the art completely cured her depression and went on to change the lives of many. Elizabeth said along the way, she said, "I don't know why it is, but this contour drawing has completely cured me of my 40-year depression. I simply don't have it anymore." She's the only woman to have had a show in the Smithsonian. She never sold any of her over 1,000 paintings, but she gave many to different charities. And then the next one. This woman is an amazing woman. And then the final one, Jim. She drew all of these drawings by looking at her face in the mirror. I think this is an amazing story of a person who stepped into the depths of who am I, what am I, and why am I? And let me stare it in the face so long until it catapults me out of my inertia, that it opens me so that the gifts of Spirit can begin to pour forth through me. A writer from New Yorker magazine said, "I'm tempted to call her a genius." I wonder if that writer knew that Elizabeth Leighton was inspired by Nietzsche. All of us are potentially hero or genius. Only inertia keeps us mediocre. Where there is no vision, the people perish. I'm looking at a group of people who I know are here to thrive. And we have created a space where it's safe to connect with our visions and to set that mark and to boldly move forward towards that mark and to readjust and redefine it as appropriate.